Yo, we are live. We are live right now. We're on YouTube. Wow, this is so cool. To all of you tubers of yous, good to see you guys. My name is David Hewish, and wow, we have an exciting 1 hour together. I'm super excited. This is like the closest I've got to being an official YouTuber, so this is so cool. And yeah, we've had quite a few high noon live streams recently. Seiji Lindstrom has been plowing on with almost a live stream a day. I mean, that guy is consistent. And yeah, today is going to be a really fun topic. So just to show you, if everyone is watching on YouTube, this is the topic: dealing with crushes. Haha, this is going to be the juicy topic. This live stream is really oriented for all of you singles out there who are preparing for the blessing. And I'm pretty sure this is an experience that almost every human being has gone through, having a crush. So let's talk about it. Let's really talk about it. And as you can see, there is a stellar cast joining me, some really famous people, some people who are true stars in our community in Europe. And I'm also really privileged to have them as really close friends as well, actually, which is quite cool to be friends with celebrities. It's a nice feeling. So yeah, I want to welcome some of them up, because to start this off, I'm going to have a little brothers chat, a little bros corner with two of my bros. So firstly, I want to welcome up the Hungarian legend himself, Marko Skotsky. Good to see
Hello,
you.
everyone.
And probably the most famous person in this country, it's Robbie the Goat. Welcome, Robert.
What's up, guys? W's in the chat.
So good to have you guys on board. Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good. Yeah, just came back home. I was with my family. We ate, and yeah, now we're here.
What did you eat?
Yeah, actually, I'm also doing very good. I also came back just now from my grandma.
Really? Wow.
Sorry, I think my internet is lagging.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yep.
I think if any lags come up, we'll just all freeze at the same time. We'll just play statues until one of us catches up. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this chat. I'm really looking forward to this chat. This is, I talk to you guys a lot. And we talk very deeply. We probably share about this one topic in particular every time we chat. It's who are our crushes and how it's affecting us. And yeah, I guess for context for everyone watching live, if you don't know us, the three of us are all very involved in our European community. We're all youth leaders, and we're all single. So that's just a little context to where we are at in our lives. So yeah, but yeah, we're also really good friends, and this is a great topic that we want to talk about today. And yeah, we want to keep it super casual. We just want to have a discussion. So why do you guys want to talk about crushes with me today?
Yeah, Marko, why? Why do you want to talk?
Good question, bro. I mean, no, honestly, it's a very important topic, especially for people this age. I mean, obviously for people younger than us, because I'm 21 years old, we're kind of the same age here. It's very important in our high school years, and also after that, especially now when we're single and we're almost entering this kind of phase of actually having a partner. So this is a quite relevant topic, I think, for everyone, especially this kind of age. Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree with Marko there. Really a relevant topic from when we're teenagers until probably now. And I feel like, as we grew up, we had to figure out how to deal with it. And I think we can now use this platform to give a head start to the people, to the younger audience, especially to, know what to do in this kind of situation and know where to go, where to have your vision and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, I want to go really real with you. Crushes, man, they are powerful. It's a powerful beast. And I guess it's safe to say the reason why the three of us want to talk about this is because we have been dealing with some crushes, and we talk about it frequently. So yeah, I guess the first question I really want to present to you guys that we can talk about is, what are crushes? what are they? If you were to define a crush, let's just dive into it. What is a crush? Yeah.
Maybe I would say like a crush is a sign to you that you are human. Actually, that's the first thing I would say. Sometimes we might think, oh, I'm having a crush, that means I'm evil or I'm doing some kind of wrong thing. But actually, it's very natural to have crushes. Or if someone doesn't really know what the exact word crush means, it means to like someone of the opposite gender. And yeah, I feel like it's natural for us because eventually we do need to have a partner and we do need to like them, and we need to love them even. So it is really natural for us to develop these feelings or crushes for someone. And yeah, it's also very important how we then later deal with it. I guess one thing I would say is, I think every one of us have the experience of having multiple crushes throughout our life. It's not just we had only one crush. So I feel like crushes also show you that, it's not just one person forever. It switches. That means that actually our heart is able to love a variety of people and be, in love with a variety of people. It's not just there's only one person who can, ever be your crush. So I feel like it can also teach you, that love isn't limited. Actually, we often have this assumption that love can just drop from the sky and then but no, actually love can be created. Love is something we create through actions, even our crushes. When we develop a crush on someone, the reason why we get more and more feelings towards that person is because we start thinking about them. We start looking what are they doing, what are their hobbies. We're investing time. Or in other words, we're investing love into them, and that's why the feelings are growing. So really, it's very natural, and it's something that you can see as a learning experience about yourself and also about love. That it's something that you create. It's not just something that is fall not something that falls from the sky. So yeah, that would be my way of doing crushes.
I like that definition. How it's just purely human, right? Yeah, but like, why do we have them? What's the reason? Why did God give us crushes, Marko? Why? Why? Tell me, why?
Good question. Why did God do that? Wow. Well, but yeah, I mean, as Robert said, it's a very natural feeling. It's a natural feeling, not just we have as humans, but basically actually animals as well, that we want to be with someone. We want to be with someone who's actually a little bit different. Well, in this case, obviously a different gender, and it's something that we want simply. That's how we're built. And I don't want to repeat what Robert said because actually it's very good, the natural part about it, and it's one of the most important things. One more thing I would actually add, that there are kind of levels to crushes or different kind of cases. I would say that, and this is something I also notice upon my life, that sometimes, for example, if I like a person, I wanted to always analyze, why do I like that person, and what is the reason for that. And yeah, sometimes it was obviously just looks. Sometimes it was because I had good conversations with this person. But sometimes it was just basically I like the idea of this person. And I think that this is something very important. It's important because if I can analyze myself and what kind of crush I have and why do I have that, that can actually be very much self-reflective. And so if I think about this, so why did God do this? Why did God give us this kind of feeling? Maybe it's also because we have to self-analyze ourselves in our younger ages and to understand who we are, basically. That's so important in my opinion. And so I'm actually, of course, now talking about it as an older person, it's easier, because when I was younger, it was way more difficult, I'd say. But looking back, it's actually very important. And I'm actually glad that I had these kind of experiences. And of course, I still go through these kind of feelings, of course. But it's very much based on growth, which I think is very, very, very good for us.
Yeah, thank you guys. I like that definition of what is a crush. If you guys are just joining the YouTube live stream just now, we have 16 views. That is nice. Please post in the chat who are you? You know, who's watching? I want to hear from you guys. Actually, we want to keep this as interactive as possible throughout the live stream. So please ask as many questions as you want. If you want to comment on, Robert and his racing record with ISO speed, or oh wait, do we have some Hungarians in the chat? Ooh. Oh, okay, no, just someone who really
Hungary.
likes Hungarians. Anyway, yeah, please just send as many questions as you want in the chat. We'll have a Q&A later. I just want to say, why are we talking about crushes? Because these live streams, the ones that I'm doing anyway, they are for the purpose of matching and blessing preparation. So why is it we're talking about crushes, and why are we not today talking about, I don't know, True Parents Life Course, or conditions, or other topics that there are many great topics to talk about in the matching and blessing journey. Of course, all three of us are on that journey, and we're still single, so we don't have everything figured out. But I think, knowing you guys, I think we're on a pretty clear path. But why are we talking about this? I think it's important to talk about because, as Robert said, it's really natural, really, really natural. And we're going to deal with it. At some point on our journey, before getting blessed, we're probably going to have at least 5 to 10 crushes in our life, whatever it is. I'm not sure what number, but everyone has experienced it. So we might as well talk about it. We might as well just put it on the table and address how it actually affects our matching and blessing journey, especially because it's fair to point out, the three of us, we are men of faith. We are men with a very particular set of values, and that is that we believe in remaining abstinent before marriage. We believe in only having one life partner in our life, being our future wife. And because of that, we're quite strict on ourselves, right, in this movement, on how we behave as kids, as teenagers, as young adults, the way that we do things, the way we interact with sisters. I know it's different in each community because each community is trying to figure out how to raise their children with these values and faith. So maybe not everyone's experience with brother-sister relationships, for instance, is the same. I think many people have had different experiences. But I want to talk about this because I think it's important. I think that rather than ignoring or hiding the fact that I have crushes, I want to talk about it with you guys and share how it's affected our journey on the matching and blessing. No way. We actually have Ravi in the chat from the Philippines. My brother, also an employee of High Noon. Thank you. And my sister is in the chat. That is nice. Hello, sister mine, Olivia Hewish. Good to see you. Yeah. So you guys want to share some stories, right? Marko, Robert, you guys have stories you want to share. I want to hear them. Please give it to me. Give me your story. Decide who wants to go first. But I want to hear the nitty gritty, the real juicy stuff about your experience with the crushes.
Robert, start.
Okay, as you say. My story with crushes. I feel like I'm the kind of person that doesn't really have a lot of crushes in life. I usually, if I have a crush on someone, it's usually for like a longer period. I would definitely, of course, say, in the younger ages, the crushes weren't the same as as you get older. And the first crush I had was when maybe I was the first like serious crush I'd say I had when I was like maybe 12, 11. And that one wasn't that difficult to manage because I was still very young. I was still maturing, and yeah, it wasn't that difficult. I'd say maybe when I got older and when I developed a different crush, when I was around 15, 16 years old, that was when it got really difficult. And that is when I really felt tested. Like I actually needed to answer to myself, why am I going down this path? Because, I want to be completely honest here. Maybe I don't know how people view us from the outside. The fact that we, keep our purity, the fact that we really take it seriously and we don't have any relationships, and we even, we try to avoid even like too much of hugging sisters or even holding hands and stuff like that. Like we take it quite seriously, and I feel like I don't know how it looks from the outside, but actually it's really hard. especially for a person like me. I'm a very emotional person. I mean, I feel emotions very strongly, and you know, I'm a male, and of course, I'm attracted to women. And you know, I often felt this very strong desire to love, to have a partner, but I know that I have to keep my purity. And I guess that when I was, yeah, 16, 15, when I got that crush, that was my pinnacle of teenagehood, when all the hormones are maxed out basically. And I remember that period was very hard for me because at first we were in the same school, so we would just walk by. I would look at her, she would look back, and I didn't think much. But as time went on, I noticed that we keep looking at each other more and more and stuff. And then as girls are in the classes, they become very curious. Who is your crush? And everyone is asking questions. Oh, who do you like and stuff. And I try to keep it as a secret as much as I can. But girls, they have their ways. They have their ways of flooding questions where you and then accidentally kind of expose yourself, and you have like no room, because you cannot answer no, but you also cannot answer yes to a question, and it's just obvious that who it is. And basically then this situation happened to me, that basically my classmates, they figured out who my crush is, and my crush was in a different class from mine. And so a thought came to me that this is not good, because if they know, then they might tell her that I have a crush on her. But at the same time, I kind of have this feeling that she likes me back. So I was thinking, if she gets to know that I have a crush on her, what if then she will try to like some kind of, create a relationship with me, or, pursue, or, try to DM me or talk to me or something. So I got afraid. And the same day, which is so funny, same day as this all happened, I had my last lesson. It was English. And I decided that after school, I will go outside. I know where usually that girl walks back home, like through which path. And I just told myself, you know what? I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna, I'm gonna tell her that I like her, but I'm also gonna say that I don't want a relationship. I just want to get this off my chest. And you don't even imagine how nervous I was. My heart was beating so bad, and I still had a lesson where I had to participate in. I couldn't focus in that lesson at all, and it was very visible to the teacher as well. But then, after after the bell rang, I went outside. I went to the place, and I just stood there and I waited. And eventually, she did come, and I just stopped her, and I told her, "Yeah, I like you, but I don't want a relationship with you." And that was that, and I just left. And man, now thinking back at it, I imagine like how confusing that must have been, because me and her, we never talked before. We never had any kind of interaction. And that was the first thing I told her. And it's not like she finished school and she left. We were still every day in the same school, walking past each other. And yeah, it was. But what was weird, I mean, of course, I didn't lose any feelings. It was just I got it off my chest. But what was interesting, that after that, for some reason, she started liking me more, because I would notice that she's looking at me even more. Even others were noticing that she's staring at me, and she's coming to my basketball games and looking at me and stuff. And I realized that if I wanted to, I could just pursue this relationship. And at that moment, I really had to look in within myself, and to understand, why am I doing all of this? Because in that same period, I was having a very harsh time in life, because I was doing basketball, but I was also dealing with a lot of injuries, and just these like all kinds of like unlucky medical issues, where I had my appendix cut, I had some allergic asthma attack, I had a back pain that lasted for 1.5 years, and I couldn't get rid of it, and so on. And there was just a lot in my life piling up, and it was really difficult for me to overcome, because I mean, just to give you a perspective of how strong I feel things, At nights I would used to stay up until like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. because I couldn't fall asleep of just thinking about her, thinking about, just dreaming about being able to love. And I'm not talking about um, like unpure, lustful thoughts. No, like just just talking to each other, just walking together, like these simple things, like this desire of this just pure love. And this would play in my mind for, and it's embarrassing to admit it. I don't know if she ever will get to see this, but I would even go outside, and where I would shoot basketball, she would often walk past that path, and I would purposely stay there longer just so I could see her walk past, just so I could see her. I would stay in the court for even like 8 hours sometimes 7 8 hours in a day just to have a chance to see her. So yeah, it's something really strong. But after I overcame it, I can now realize that at that moment I thought that it's impossible for me to be able to you know have a crush on someone else after her. But now I can see that it is possible. And again, love is something we create. It's not limited. It's something we create, and this really gave me a lesson of that love is something you create. It's not just something that falls from the sky. Because at that moment, I felt like this is the only person I can be with, and now I don't even think about her anymore. So it just shows how love is definitely not limited. It can be. So yeah, this is maybe what I would like to share of my story.
Thank you, Robert. That's not the first time I heard that story for sure, but it keeps getting funnier and funnier every time you say it. Because like you were young. I think in that situation, a young guy does not know how to deal with their feelings. So yeah, but I'm glad to see that it actually had a positive impact on you because you learned some great lessons. And I haven't seen you stalking any girls with your basketball, recently. So it seems that you learned some great lessons from that. But yeah, no, it's good that you share that story because I think that's very relatable for many other people. So yeah, cheers, bro. That's really nice. Yeah. What about you, Marco? What's your juicy story?
My juicy story. Uh, yeah. So crushes. I would like to tell a story when I was already older, around 18, 19. At this age, I was still at university, high school, because in Hungary, actually, we do high school until the age of 19 or something. So it's quite normal to do it at that age. And so up until that point, actually, I was quite reserved if it came to a relationship with girls. I was actually, many times I just pulled back and I didn't even talk much with girls because I was like in this kind of mindset that it's better to just avoid it and then I don't have issues with it, which is it's kind of a good method until like a certain age, but after a while it's just actually not that healthy. So I wanted to change this because I saw friendships between the opposite genders and it felt like something I really want, like purely I want to have a good relationship with someone. um, and so there was this kind of one situation with one girl in my high school, and we got to know each other actually through a camp um, for my own high school actually. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna change this. I want to do it really purely, but I want to change this. I want to be normal. I want to be able to talk. And so I kind of approached her and I was like, hey, how are you? And so we started having a conversation, and it actually turned out that, yeah, actually, we can talk quite well together. She had really good values, very good family values. And yeah, the way she was speaking was very, very similar to me, actually. And obviously, that for me was something easy. Like it was easier to talk to her because we had something common, basically. Because in general, our lives are very different, actually, but these kind of values were very similar, and that helped a lot. And so, um, obviously, I got along with her, and I wanted to kind of expand these kind of horizons of, okay, so what is a friendship between a guy and a girl look like? How does it look like, and what are the limits to it? And so I was friends with her. I mean, I still am. Don't get me wrong; it's not a bad story. I'm still friends with her actually. But quite soon, actually, after I was 18, 19, I kind of realized that, okay, there are some limits that I have to keep myself to, because obviously if I'm too close to her, then I will simply catch emotions. And it was very much a learning curve of what is an appropriate friendship that I can have with her. And it was actually very difficult in the beginning. I didn't know how to do it. But I feel that this experience helped me a lot in first of all, understanding actually the opposite gender, women. It was very important. Even though I have a sister, which helps a lot, I still needed to have this kind of experience to understand what are they like. And the way I actually tried to deal with this was that obviously when I started having emotions towards her, I started thinking that, okay, so what do I want with this relationship? Do I want it to, go too far? Do I want to step over boundaries that I don't want to step over? Or do I want to keep myself to really a friendship? And it took a lot of strength. And honestly, it was this kind of intellectual strength, because at this point, I already kind of had just emotions and these kind of stuff, which is very difficult to deal with. So intellectually, I had to make the right decision that, okay, what is the line? How far can I go? And do I want to go? And what is my utmost goal in my life? And obviously, for me, that goal was the blessing. I wanted to go to the blessing, and I knew that this kind of relationship is not going to support that, is not going to help in that. So I had to make the necessary means to format it that way. And the way I want to actually present this, because I know that this kind of situation comes up in many people's lives, um, and I don't have a definite answer to everyone's because it's very different. But in my case, what helped me um, was because she was quite respectful as well. And obviously, I kind of had this conversation with her normally, not the way Robert did actually, but just normally that, look, I want to really have this kind of a healthy relationship, and I want to be friends. And of course, I made decisions in myself as well that this is what I want to keep myself to. And yeah, eventually, it actually was a very much a learning curve. And since then, I'm actually really happy that I'm more capable of creating friendships with girls in a healthy way, which is very, very good. Of course, there are still boundaries. There's still boundaries that I have to keep myself to, um, which is obviously depends on a person. But it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot, and now I'm so glad actually because of that experience that I didn't go too far. I really, really put the effort on into how to think about this. What is the right mindset? And now I'm really happy whenever I have a friendship with a girl or a sister, wherever, from church, not from church. It's very helpful. It's very, very helpful. And yeah, it is a important learning lesson, actually, I think, for everyone to kind of learn how do I become friends with the opposite gender. And so this is kind of the story that helped me a lot in my teenage years. And I think this is something that basically everyone has to learn throughout their lives anytime. Because this will come up every time, everywhere, school, university, job, everywhere. So yeah, very, very shortly, that's it, my story.
Thanks, Marko. Thank you so much for sharing. What stands out to me the most is that you were taking it very seriously as a teenager. Like, you were actually thinking about it very carefully, how to deal with your emotions. I can definitely say for sure I've seen the complete opposite, where people feel the emotions and then they either panic or they actually act on those feelings as well. So the fact that you genuinely had these, this impulse, what's impulse, wrong word. You were really thinking about how to act in the best way, right? And I'm pretty sure that's down to the way you were raised by your family, right? You were saying how you had a great relationship with your siblings and with your parents as well, and with your community. It's interesting. It's interesting because we don't see this in society so much. We see a bunch of monkeys acting on every impulse and chasing after their feelings. But you actually put in the effort to act in a, I would say, mature way. So I just want to salute you, brother. That's really inspiring to hear. And yeah, there's some love in the chat as well. I'm seeing some smiley faces from a few people, from our Italian friends in the chat. Nice to see you guys. From Piotrek, my brother. Really happy to see. Yeah, this is great. Okay, but you guys, you also have some questions you want to post in this little brothers chat. What do you guys want to hear from the other dudes?
Okay, I have a question. So, regarding crushes, how do you manage romantic emotions? And is there something specific you do when it arises?
It's a good question. Actually, I think I can put on the Q&A button now, because this is a very similar question to one of our sisters in the chat. Basically asked pretty much the same question. Yeah, so how do we deal with crushes? Robert, do you want to go first?
Yeah, in regards to that, I saw a question. Yeah, what if you have strong feelings, and yeah, how do you deal with the feelings basically? And yeah, I think one thing that we have to understand, and that usually when you develop a crush for someone, it takes quite a long time, and it's quite a big. You invest a lot into making it stronger and stronger. And it doesn't just become strong from the first time. It becomes strong over time. And I would say, as the same as if you have a house that is already built and you think that it's not good and you want to destroy it, even after you break everything, you still have a pile of bricks, the broken roof, and all of the pieces that you still need to fix. And not fix, but I mean to remove, actually. And so what we need to understand, it takes time. It really takes time to just empty that space, because when you have a crush, you kind of, if we imagine we have our heart, and we have a place in our hearts for a partner, and you kind of fill that space up with that particular person in your heart, and now you destroyed that piece. Let's say if you want to let go of that person, you destroy that piece, but there's still a lot of bricks and stones and stuff laying there. And as it took a lot of time for it all to be built, it will take a lot of time for it all to be cleaned up and removed, and that space to be open again. So it's something that, yeah, it definitely takes time, and you just need to be patient. But of course, you shouldn't just sit and do nothing. This maybe now goes more towards Marco's question, like how do you deal with the romantic feelings? Is you know at some point we have to be able to control our thoughts, because it is very pleasurable, and you do want to think about those things. You do want to you know imagine having a wife, being with that person and stuff, but it just comes down to us stopping ourselves, and having that understanding that if I continue on this path, this isn't going to create the thing I want, because that's where the purpose, that's where your goal is very important, because it can help you understand, okay, if I do this, this is not helpful. So yeah, but what I want to mainly say, that it's give yourself time. And this is also advice that I often give to myself, uh, because I often get impatient as well, especially with your crushes, because it takes a lot of time to just let go of it. And you need to give grace to yourself, and understand that it takes time. As it took time to develop it will take time to get rid of it. But what I would say is just trust in God. One thing that really helped me is seeing how God always gave me the best thing in life, seeing how God always took care of me, and eventually everything goes, the best way it can for me. So having this trust, having this knowledge that God never forsake me, God never did anything bad to me, I can be sure that everything will be good and everything will be all right. and you know, I can trust in God, even though I'm confused now. I don't know what to do now. I'm not sure, you know, where I need to go. Where is that light? But from experience of life, just how God, you know, has been guiding me, has been always giving me the best thing. I can just, you know, okay, I don't see it, but I can trust. I can trust because I know from experience that, you know, He delivers. God delivers. So yeah, that would be my answer.
Nice answer. Sweet. I actually want to answer another question which is in the chat. My sister is asking this. So, what should you do if you have a crush on one of your friends, but you don't want to distance yourself because you want to still be their friend? Yeah, I'm going to answer this one because this is my reality. And you guys know, I've talked about this with you brothers, that I have a close friend, and that is the person I had a huge crush on this year. This year, I had a massive crush. And yeah, of course, I'm not going to say who, that would be ridiculous. But what I am going to say is how I dealt with it. So, actually, I've learned that sharing about it is really helpful. But, and here's the big but, ladies and gentlemen, vertically, not horizontally. Because I was talking about it every day with my brothers, and it was making it stronger. I fell more in love with this person, and I couldn't stop thinking about this person every single day, to the point where I was listening to love songs on Spotify and like just feeling all these beautiful feelings and like, oh, I think I found the one. Yeah. But actually, I realized that the horizontal connection, it was helpful to an extent to actually have someone to talk about it and to not be judged, to have someone to share about it. But it didn't actually help in the long run. So the moment that I decided to share with my parents, that was, I guess, my redeeming moment where I realized, oh shoot, I've been handling this the wrong way the whole time. So yeah, I told my parents, and it was one of the hardest conversations I've had in a while, to be honest. But it was so helpful. It was so helpful because if you share with your parents, you know, they are in the position of God to you, right? They are your physical embodiment of God. And so to share it vertically, you're really getting the best support you can, especially since if your parents really genuinely love you and they really want you to have the best future, they as a married couple themselves, got to remember, they're not just your parents, they're also a married couple. They have a lot of wisdom to give. They have a lot of experience because they've worked on their relationship. They've worked on being a married couple. And so they were able to really give me some good advice. And yeah, actually afterwards, sharing about it with them and really retraining myself to view this person as a sister, it actually, not 100%, but removed most of the feelings. It diluted the crush massively. And yeah, I mean, there's other things too that really helped. Maybe I'll go into that later. But I think just to keep it short and sweet, I would say vertical connecting with your parents about it is super, super important. That's what helped me. So I hope that you can talk to your parents about this because this is so special. Also, I think for your parents to feel like they can actually have a helpful effect on your life. I think your parents are the ones who are truly on your team. They want you to succeed. So for their child to come and share something as intimate as the person that they are feeling feelings for, your parents can help you. And maybe, depending on which situation you'll be in, maybe they'll even help you towards starting a matching process. And whether or not these feelings towards that person impact the choice you make, your parents will be there to guide you in that decision making, right? So that's my 10p, my 10 pounds advice for today. Yeah, but guys, we want to make sure we make the most of this live stream, and we're already kind of running out of time for our little bros chat. So very quickly, a short answer as possible. I have a deep question I want to ask you guys. But first, I want to make a point. You know, you guys are handsome, inspiring. You're single. You're basically on the market. You guys are godly people. You're super motivating. You have great public speaking skills. You're a catch, guys. You are a catch. So why is it that you guys have decided to not pursue your crushes and wait for your future spouse? Why did you guys choose that? Quick answers.
Okay, I have a quick answer. there's a lot of growth that is happening, especially after high school. If I go to university, that's a huge change in my life, and I need to know what kind of career I pursue. Sounds cliche, but it's incredibly important because it's one of the most difficult things in life to find what I want to do and to have a clear path in that. So for me, this was one of the big things that I need to see it somehow. And especially in these years, 20, 21, 22, I think I personally feel that every year I grew so much that it's just worth it. Not to wait too long, of course, but to just basically have this kind of career path kind of settled. Of course, not every question answered, but kind of settled which way I want to go. I would say this very shortly as one answer.
Yeah. Since I believe in the reality of the spirit world, I understand that my spouse is my spouse for eternity. And this short period comparatively of me preparing for it will be insignificant in the future, actually. So that's why, I feel like I really want to take this time to, first of all, prepare myself to become the best that I can be. Of course, I can never become perfect, but I can strive to become better. And also because it's really important for me to find a person with the values that I have, and we share mutual faith, we share mutual values with each other. And that's exactly why I want to go to the road of matching and blessing, and not just you know find a wife anywhere on the street, or because I know that the closest thing I will get to my values, to my faith, is in my faith. And that's why I feel like I want to wait, and I want to prepare myself, and I want to pursue this magic and blessing journey, to really find someone with whom I can share values, and with whom I can share faith in God, pray together, and stuff. I mean, yeah, it's just exciting to think about.
Thanks for sharing, guys. Honestly, you guys are my best mates. I love you a lot. It's been really fun to have this discussion. Do you want to say any last words to the chat? We have 25 people watching. This is amazing. What are your last
Whoa.
words? 29.
Yeah, it's part two. Part two. Sometime.
But we
Write
have to
something in
do it.
chat if you
We
want
have
part
to
two.
do it in the same room.
Oh yeah, true.
Your W is in the chat if you want part two.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. If you want to see
What
it,
topic do you want,
couch,
guys? Let us know.
W.
couch version.
I currently see no W's in the chat, guys. There's zero
They
W's.
don't want part two.
Oh my God,
It's fine.
W.
Hey, we got a W. There we go. Wow, they're
Hey,
coming in.
hey,
Let's
two
go. Let's
W's.
go.
Oh, they come in. Let's go.
Part two's coming. Part two's coming. Oh wow, now they're really
Part
streaming
two
in.
is coming.
Okay,
Whoa, whoa.
nice.
It was
Well,
just an internet delay.
maybe,
Yes, sir.
maybe.
That's the only
But
thing.
in that case, see you soon because we're going to do this again. So, thank you so much for coming on. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye,
Thank you for having
boys.
us.
I love those guys. I love those guys. Ah, they are amazing brothers. I'm sure you guys love them too. They're just they're made for cinema. Really, they're proper rock stars. So yeah, again, I just want to say a big thank you to all the people who are watching this live stream. So good to see you guys in the chat. I know most of you. It's really nice to see my brothers and sisters here. And if you're watching this, recording later on YouTube, then how are you? Hope you're having a good day. I hope that you're thinking seriously about matching and blessing. I hope that you're thinking about your crushes and how to deal with them, because yeah, it's again, as we said in our bros chat, crushes are very natural, they're human, but we got to deal with it. We got to deal with it. And speaking of dealing with it, I want to invite another guest. We're not just having a bros chat today, guys. Not just bros. We also want to hear from the female perspective. Okay. And I genuinely believe as well that barriers and not barriers, healthy guidelines, healthy respect between men and women is super, super important in controlling your emotions and really nurturing your heart, right? You really want to nurture your heart before your marriage and really not share it openly with everyone. So it's good to have some good boundaries between brothers and sisters. But I also believe that it's good to have healthy brother and sister relationships. So I thought, why don't I welcome up one of my absolute best friends, this amazing sister, Nausika. Hello.
Hey, hello.
How are
Hi,
you doing?
David. Yeah, I'm so happy to see you, actually. I'm so happy you invited me. Yeah, I'm good. Actually, I'm just glad I made it because I literally just came back from work. I was able to just take a quick shower and I skipped dinner and I was here. So, yes, and I'm also very glad that I still have my voice because today was quite intense. Yeah, yeah, for people who don't know, I work in this adventure park, so people just climb the trees. So to talk to them, you have to scream basically, and I just spent the whole day screaming. And I was thinking, oh man, I hope I get to the end of the day when I'm still able to talk. So yes, that's still a blessing for me. I'm very glad.
Thank you for coming. Actually, I as soon as I decided to make this live stream, I was like, I need to get Nausika on this
Oh my
100%.
goodness.
Need to have a
Okay.
discussion with you. So
No.
thank you for coming after your long shift, and also you didn't tell me you were skipping dinner. You should have told me, and I would have given you more time. But
No, it's okay. I'm receiving all the spiritual food I need, so that's no worries. Yeah,
okay,
but yeah. Don't raise the expectation too high about how this conversation is gonna happen. Like, I don't want to disappoint people. Like,
she is
you're
amazing.
oh my god. Oh
Yeah. But no, actually, one of the main reasons as well why I wanted to invite you is not just because you're a sister and you're an amazing sister and you're my friend, but you're also engaged. You're engaged.
yeah,
You've already you've stepped over that line. You're no longer a single lady. You actually have your man that you're going to go and get blessed to next year.
yes.
So that's
I'm off the market.
she's off the market, guys. But that's good because I mean, Andre is a dream, real good guy that you found, honestly. But yeah, it's important because you've achieved something that many people watching this hope to achieve. Right? You have found the man that you want to create a family with, right?
Yeah, yeah. It still feels weird to say it, to be honest, but yeah. I mean, I do see. I do think I guess when you're in it, it just feels very natural, and I don't know. I just realized it more when people like point it out, right? Like it's like, no, it's like you're engaged, right? Like, or talk about some things about us, and I just see like a lot of desire in people's eyes, and I don't know. I guess I really don't realize how precious this is, right? Or how desirable this is, and but yeah, for sure, I'm very grateful, and I think he of course gave me many reasons to be grateful. So it's very hard to not be. Yeah, and of course it's the beginning, so everything is it's like sunshine. It's like this is the best time, right? And I remember I was joking with my friends. I was like, you should forgive me if I'm all fluff and corny right now. This is the only period of my life. It's probably like gonna last a couple years where I can do this, right? And then everything is gonna become routine. So I'm actually proud and I'm enjoying these years, right? Yeah, so I'm not holding back the fluff for sure. But
Please give us the fluff. Honestly, it makes me happy to see you this happy, and the fact that you're able to enjoy this time, as an engaged person before life gets real and you have to settle down with your husband and you have
and then you have to pay
kids.
bills and and you're actually
Exactly.
living together and all the annoying things come up. Like, okay, I acknowledge that. So until that's not there, I'm just gonna really enjoy this little short months of sunshine and rainbows, which is not always sunshine and rainbows, by the way, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good because it's nice to hear from people in your situation, because this is exactly what a lot of people are focusing on now, right? They really want to get to this point where they find their future life partner, their best friend for eternity. And to hear from the people that have found them and hear their journey on how they got there is super important. Myself, I'm still single. I'm still super curious about how things are going to go. I'm super nervous and excited about my future. So to hear your story is super inspiring, because I know that you've worked really hard to get to this point. And again, we're on the topic of crushes today.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you a question, which is, growing up, how did your crushes impact the relationships in your life with your friends, with your family, people in the community? how did it impact you as a person?
Yeah, okay, that's a really good question. So maybe I can give a little bit of context. Like I grew up with the older brother, so I think this is the common experience for like younger sister. You just grew up becoming very boyish, let's say, because that's that's the person you're relating to. That's the person you're playing with, right? So I was playing video games. I was playing football with him, and yeah. So I let's say I grew up having Also, I mentioned before I was in the elementary school with 17 boys and just one girl. So I was surrounded by, the man sphere, let's say. So in a sense, I could also see myself being quite comfortable with them, because I do see maybe like fully more an intellectual side. So I really like to debate. This is not something that girls usually are into. Usually, of course. There are many exceptions, and yeah, I also think maybe my kind of humor is more on the boys' side, like a lot of bullying, a lot of roasting. So for sure, it was. I don't know. I just grew up being very close to guys. Actually, most of my friends were guys, and yeah, I have to say it was not always so good. Like, of course, I was having a lot of fun with them, but then it would be so easy for me to just get a crush, right? And often how it would happen is because, I was their friend, so they would never see me as a potential, partner or something. I'm talking really young, but already at that time, you're just, looking for your little boyfriend or girlfriend. So I would just see myself getting so many crushes for these guys, and then knowing that there's no way they're gonna receive it back, and I was just very dependent on this attention I was receiving from them. And yeah, so for sure that was a thing that quite impacted me, because it was really later when I realized that the reason for why I was actually engaging with so many guys, and it was not only because it felt comfortable, it felt familiar, but I was definitely very dependent on those little attention that they were giving me. And yeah, I want to talk about this also later, but yeah, I had my crushes here and there, but I want to talk about my biggest crush, because I don't know, I feel like sometimes, especially when I'm talking with my younger sisters, in worship and stuff, they're like, yeah, Nausika, who are you to tell us, you never struggle with this. But I'm like, no, I made myself no struggle. And it took me a long time. It took me years of self-reflection and self-work. But yeah, so to make a really long story short, I got this huge crush for this guy, and he was like a brother on a workshop, and it was incredibly intense, to the point where I was thinking about this person every day. And this crush like lasted 4 years of my life, like 4 years and a half. And it was terrible because I would never see this person. Like I would meet them twice per year, maybe. But still they were constantly on my mind. I would think about them like when I woke up, I was thinking about them when I was going to sleep. It's like every day I was thinking about them and like fantasizing about our life together. And it was super annoying. And it's even fun because maybe, okay, I can see myself, maybe I'm not really on the romantic side most of the time, but even at the time, right, like I really hated myself. Like sometimes I just wanted to open my head. Okay, this is going to be very visual, but literally I was thinking is like I really wish I could open my head and just reach inside with my hand and take the thoughts about the person out, so it's not my problem anymore. And but yeah, it was just it kept being there, and I couldn't really understand why was I feeling this such strong emotions for this guy. And yeah, it was very embarrassing. I can just to give a little bit of context, like to make it feel real. But I remember there was this time I was at the workshop and I was in this room and he was helping the kitchen, and at a certain point he entered to give us food, and I was talking and I couldn't finish my sentence, right? And I started like stuttering, and he's there, and I was like and then he left, and then after I was like, oh my goodness, Nausika, what the heck are you doing? Where is your dignity? Just get it back together. Or I remember once, like, I don't know, we danced the Polish dance, so like you're holding hand, and and then when it came his turn, I was holding his hand. I just remember my mouth got completely dry, and I felt like I was dying, and I needed to drink. And after the dance, I just got to run and drink water because I felt like, I don't know, that never happened. I was so embarrassed of myself. I was like, come on, Nausika, what the heck is wrong with you? and I was just thinking, because I remember also at the time it was the first high noon lectures I ever received. Like they tour in Italy. I was around 14, 15, something like this. And yeah, they came and they talked about attraction. Like, why do we feel attracted for someone? Like, and I just couldn't understand, because there's like, it's nothing wrong. Like it means that you really appreciate like traits of this person. But then I was, putting this person on a rational like point of view, and I was like, I actually don't like him. Like, I don't like his character. I don't think he's gonna be a good father. I actually don't want to have anything with this person. Why am I feeling so strongly about him? And I just realized there was a deeper issue underneath. And I think I was around 15. I went to this workshop, and it was very enlightening for me, but not because the content I received was really special. I went there with a different kind of attitude. So, you can see me now. I'm kind of more like bubbly, and I love to talk, and I like to have fun. But this time I went to this workshop, and I was very serious. I was like, okay, I'm going to have a reflective workshop. I'm just going to be by myself. I'm not really going to talk with people. I'm just going to, I don't know, I just want to try this new thing that I never did before in the public spaces, right? And after this workshop, I realized that this person was very similar to my dad. So I was analyzing his character, and I can see that my dad is more closed off, for example, with like strangers, and often he's misunderstood, but he's incredibly intelligent. And this person was kind of the same. So I saw that there was an issue there, and I realized that I didn't have a good relationship with my dad. And after that year, I put a lot of effort trying to build back this relationship with my parents. And it's incredible, because after I was able to create this relationship with my parents, especially with my dad, we became very close. I had never had a crush again. I was 15, right? Like, that's the peak of hormones. But that was the last crush I had, and it naturally died out. And I don't know, something that I realized, especially with some other sisters, I was talking with them, and especially those who get crushes very, very easily. I could see that most of the time they really didn't have a good relationship with their dad. And that was also for me. I just saw that the reason for which I was having these crushes, I was looking in them that love, that attention that I thought and I didn't feel I was receiving from my dad, right? And yeah, that's why, for example, you asked before, why did God give us crushes? And of course, God gave us attraction, but my personal experience is when that becomes very obsessive and it becomes really intense, is often a spy for something deeper, right? Because my experience that now I have with Anji is like, of course there's a lot of emotions, but it's never obsessive. It's never intense to the point where I'm, sacrificing myself, or I'm like not thinking straight, right? But it's as much deep, and is even more, beautiful in a sense. And for me, it was just realizing that this really strong emotions I was feeling were often kind of, a spy. Like, you're driving a car and something come up, like, and there's something wrong with the engine, and I just had to realize what is this deeper issue? What I'm looking for? Why is it so strong? Why I'm looking so much for this love, right? Because you feel so much, because in a sense, I realized I wanted to feel so much. I wanted someone, and why do I feel the need for someone to like me that much? And for me personally, I just realized I don't have a good relationship with my parents. I the love that I think I'm not feeling right now is the love that I'm looking for in other people. And it never came. It was just, that's why it became obsessive. It was just the more attention I was putting, the more energy I was putting, the less was giving back. And that was also a big revelation for me, because that's when actually I started having healthy relationship with sisters, which I really didn't put that much effort before, because it was just more comfortable to be with guys, and girls don't understand. They're so like, there's just drama, whatever. I had all this kind of tomboy stereotypes. I was a pick me girl, and and but then I was just the same energy I was putting into brothers, I started putting into sisters, into my female friends, and it became so easy to have this super deep relationship with sisters. And they would become so good that I would go to workshops and I couldn't, all the Italian friends were making fun of me because I had no idea which brothers were there. Like, they were showing pictures like, he was here. I was like, I never seen this man in my whole life. And the reason for this, it was just like, I was going to this workshop and I was, choosing, let's say, 1 or 2 sisters, and my mindset was like, I'm going to take care of this person for the whole workshop. I'm going to give to this person. I want really to get close to this person. I want to get to know them really well. And on the hand, it was also kind of, for me, I wanted to train, because I really thought how I'm supposed to take care of a person, like my future spouse, if I'm not even able to take care of a friend completely. And the best thing about it was that, when I was investing that much with brothers, there's always a limit where you couldn't cross. There was always a limit where they couldn't give back, right? Otherwise, it became too intimate. But with sisters, that limit didn't exist. So the beautiful thing about it was, the more I was investing, the more I was receiving back. And even the lack of love that I felt, that I was looking out, and guys would just, it get filled with the love for my sisters. And I just naturally, didn't even look at boys. I would never look at them in that way. I didn't develop a crush for them. And so to wrap it up, one thing I realized about crushes is, and that I can compare to how my relationship is now with my match, is crush is still, kind of sudden, right? It's just super quick, and it gives you a lot of anxiety, and everything is messed up, and you're exploding. But the beautiful thing about love is just, it feels safe. That's something I never felt having a crush. I never felt safe. I felt like I was in a war zone, and and I was constantly fighting with my thoughts. I was fighting with with my heart when the person was there. But now you have, of course, all the sweet feelings that you might feel, but it always feels so safe. It never feels put in a wrong box. It never feels earthquakey. And that's when I really realized what is so much beautiful about love, right? And it's something that requires give and take. It's not, I was very careful with the word love. I never said I was in love. I always say I had a crush, because my idea of true love was, there's give and take. So if I'm just, pushing, like vomiting out all this feeling to this person, and maybe they don't even know, I cannot say I'm in love, because just the definition of true love means that I'm giving and I'm receiving back. This person is taking my love, is receiving my love, and is taking care of it, and then is able also to give it back, right? I think it's the same with God, right? I don't think it's true love when God is just vomiting its love and you're not giving it back. That's just, I don't know how you say, love bombing. That's not true love. But yeah, so to wrap it up, I just wanted to share how much improving my relationship with my parents made me, invincible to crushes. And also how all that energy that in the end I do think is kind of a sexual energy that is normal to have, when it's not about blocking it, right? Because sometimes we always we have this idea, oh no, I have a crush. We have all these thoughts, and I need to block it. I'm impure. But for me, it was more, where do I put it? And I decided to put it in friendships. I decided to put it in friends, and that actually helped me learn what it does really mean to love someone. and to see them for who they really are and take care of their flaws, take care of their problems in a very, unconditional love, pure, absolutely pure way. So yeah, that was it.
Wow. You did exactly what I wanted you to do, which is take my simple question and turn it into an absolute message bomb. There was so much gold in that. Thank you, Nausika. Wow. Amazing. Actually,
It's okay. It's just because I'm old and I'm wise.
It's the wisdom that comes with experience. But no, actually, I just want to highlight some really key points you said, because, yeah, again, if anyone missed it, there was some precious stuff in there. Firstly, you mentioned how the crush you had was a guy that reminded you of your father, right? And that you decided to then work on your relationship with your father, and then you realized that need for male connection was fulfilled, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That to me sounds incredible, and I think it's an actual Einstein moment. I want everyone in the chat to just realize this. That feeling, that intense feeling of attraction towards that guy wasn't actually the driving force for Nausika to be with that guy. I don't think people understand this, that every feeling we have is the feeling that God gave us, that we're meant to be with this person. That feeling was her attraction to be with her father, the main male figure in her life at that point. That's just like mind-blown moment. And I can really relate, because when I shared, I said with the brothers, I had this really strong crush this year. The moment I shared with my parents, okay, it didn't take the crush away, exactly, but it helped so much, because I was then having this emptiness inside, this desire to have this connection with someone. I was then getting that from my parents. And over time, the more that I invest in my relationship with my parents, I can see that's really what I need right now. I know that I'm not a married man. I don't have a wife, so I can't fulfill that desire in me. And it's not, okay, again, I also don't want to say that you can totally ignore that desire a single person has to be with a partner. That's natural. That's exactly why God designed couples, because that's the ideal. That's how we're meant to be. We resemble God when we're together. So of course we're going to have that desire all the time, sometimes.
Yeah.
And I would say the thing you said towards the end about fulfilling your relationship with your parents and with your close friends, it took away your crushes. You never had a strong crush again. I have to say that's incredible, but I can't relate, because I did not experience the same. Like I have amazing friendships with brothers, with sisters as well, that I feel a really sibling realm with. And I have really an improving relationship with my parents, and still I get crushes. Maybe that's just me. Maybe we're built different. Maybe we're going to have different experiences.
Yeah, I also think it really, I don't know, for me, and maybe I'm doing the wrong thing by saying this. I don't know. I hope you do. But my experience was the more, what's the word? Self-confidence. The more self-confidence I gained, the less I felt the need to have a crush. And I also have to say that, because sometimes I talk with sisters and I really do understand not everyone has the same like household, right? Like the same kind of relationship. And some people have really, really not positive parents, like really, very disruptive families. And I really do feel sorry, right? Because, it's hard for them to relate to the stories I say, and it's heartbreaking for me in a sense. But yeah, I have to say that my dad is very expressive with his love. Like I never doubt it. Like even now today, if I go down, he's Albanian, so there's a lot of passion there, right? He's very expressive. I never doubt it. Like I just go down the stairs and he's like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You're the light of my life," so yeah, I do see, that's not the norm most of the time. So that's, for me, I felt when I started noticing this, when I started having this, feeling this love, also my self-confidence issue got solved. And I really could see how much of that was coming from my parents, because, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, but I'm interested in this, and I read a lot about this, and I do see it. You grow up, and how you feel growing up really shapes you. Like, shapes the ideas you have of yourself, the beliefs you have of yourself, and then that's why I see parents really being involved with that. And that's why, it sounds so simple when you hear a testimony and everything is solved, right? But then every single person has his own world, like his own little package of trauma. Like, I don't want to call it trauma because it feels so heavy, but everyone is a little bit messed up, right? That's the problem. That's how life is. But so for me, it doesn't have to always be, I need to solve everything, because I'm not solved now, and I know I have other many issues, and Angie knows best than any other person probably. But it just really to be aware of it, because that's the thing. That's, and I do see it, of course, you were saying like, oh, this is not helping my crushes, but how much more control you have now instead of before, right? Like, how much, also nicer things you have this relation with your parents that you didn't have before. And I don't know, for me it's just more like how much more knowledgeable and powerful I can become, because the more you know about yourself and why you react in a way, why you have issues, what kind of traumas you have, and the more self-confident you can be, the more, that's my experience, the more sure about myself I could become. But yeah, those were golden years, Sometimes I say I was more ready for matching blessing after that than other issues came, as always. But yeah, I just, these are, I don't want to say it's the solution for everything, but for me it was it really helped. And I was very lucky also, I have to say, because I really love my parents. I really cannot help it, but I know that that's not the case for many people.
Yeah. This seems like an occurring theme, actually, that we've been mentioning parents a lot in this discussion, also with the boys as well. For all those people that are watching online, I think, again, like I'm in no position to teach about this. I'm still single. Nausika's only just been engaged, but we have experiences, right? And we can share our experiences with you. One thing I can say for sure, hand on heart, is that my relationship with my parents has been the most important relationship to invest in before my matching and blessing.
Yeah.
And I believe that 100%, because, okay, and again, like, my situation was different. I was actually quite a lonely teenager. I was homeschooled, so I didn't necessarily experience the classroom dramas growing up. That didn't mean I had no connection. Like, I went to rugby, I went to theater for many years, so I had people to hang out with, and also in our church community. But I was actually quite a lonely person. I didn't have many good friendships until now, which is amazing. I feel so blessed to have amazing friendships, and I feel like I'm able to receive true brotherly, sisterly love now. Also from my own siblings. I've been working on my relationship. I have 4 younger sisters, and they've taught me a lot about how the female brain works and how to be a better brother towards them. And that's actually really affected the way that I treat women out there, because, and actually, there is a
You're
question.
having a full workshop on how to treat women,
Maybe. That's a good idea, But actually, okay, I'm just gonna put that little Q&A button up on the screen. Now's the time to post questions for Nausika, guys. Please, if you have any questions for Nausika, please put it in. But there was a question that was posted earlier that was not answered. I think would be great, Nausika, if we can go into this now together. And the question is, how do you manage your relationships with people of the opposite gender? Is there a healthy way to have sisters as friends? So again, this is coming from a brother. I am a brother, and I can totally understand where this guy's coming from. Look, I'm going to be honest and say that I've been really bad at having good sister relationships for a long time. I made a lot of mistakes. There were some crushes that I acted on, in a sense, and I don't think I ever flirted with anyone, but like I definitely made wrong choices in the boundaries I had with sisters, right? But sitting right next to me on the screen is a sister that I feel like I'm really good friends with, and Nausika, like, the friendship I have with you is something I'm really grateful for. But not just you, like, there's so many other sisters now that I interact with that I feel really secure in my relationship with those sisters. And it comes down to a few points I just want to share. And then I also want to hear your perspective, Nausika, on maybe our friendship and other brothers you have in your life. But for me, a massive turning point in my life was I'd come up from a very dark place in my life. I had made a lot of bad mistakes, and that really affected me. And then I had a big God moment. Again, many of you have heard my testimony, so you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'll share it another time. But coming out of that dark moment, I realized that because I received God's love saved my life, really. And so that gave me this drive to then serve others and to share God's love with others. And so with that purpose in my heart, it was really clear whenever I would travel throughout different European countries and visit communities. And look, let's face it, there are some very attractive sisters in our communities because we have amazing virtues in our community. And when those sisters are confident in their virtues and they are really godly people, that's really attractive. So I was going around to communities with some very attractive sisters, but actually I was always there to serve. And that was a very, very clear motive in my heart, that I'm here as a brother to serve, especially sharing the high noon message. And even if I find that person attractive, I'm there to give something to them. And that thing is not me, that thing is God's love. So I found that interacting with sisters became so easy because if ever I had a one-on-one conversation with a sister on those workshops, I would just be in total brother mode. Like, I'm your brother, I'm here to help you. And then I would always think of my sisters, and I have 4 of them. And hey, you know, when you're living with sisters and brothers together, you don't always get along. You fight a lot. There's a lot of experiences you have. But it made me realize the more I was away from home, how much I really love my sisters and how much I really want to take care of them. And I'm sorry that I didn't take enough care of them, I think, growing up. And I really wanted to do better in taking care of them as a brother. And so I found this massive opportunity to help and protect my other sisters wherever I would go. That protective nature was what was driving me. And with Nausika being like an older sister to me, even then, I still have this huge protective nature. I remember, okay, little short story. We were in Germany at the beginning of this year, right, for a workshop, a spirituality workshop. And there was one day where we went out to do some sightseeing in Berlin. And we went into this little maze, this kind of monument to all of the Jews that were killed, right? So it's quite a heavy place, and we were walking around and praying. And then I noticed in one corner of the maze, there was a bunch of German young men, and they were smoking, and they seemed like a pretty bad energy, that bunch of men. And then I was looking, and Nausika was walking in front of me in her big black coat. And even though she's older than me, like, our height difference is also quite different. And so I was looking at this gang of guys, and I was looking at Nausika and like my little short sister that I care about. And I was just in total like knight mode. If I have to, I'm gonna fight off these brothers. I'm gonna make sure that she's safe. So what I did, and I don't think you noticed this, I followed Nausika around. I followed Nausika around for like 10 minutes just to make sure that nothing bad happens. And that was just my brother mode in that moment. Like, I have to do this. This is my mission now.
Okay, no, that's good because my social aware was really, it was not there. I was just like, so I had no idea this happened actually.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
So you became the dangerous person following me. Okay, I see.
I was stalking Nausika. But yeah, I guess that's my answer to the question is it became clear that I'm here to serve as a brother. And that's why I feel so stable in my relationship with Nausika as well and other sisters, is because I want to treat them like I treat my sisters. But yeah, Nausika, I want to give you the space to share as well.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I think it's good to have the mindset. I'm gonna give maybe more practical things that for me really helped, because as I said, I had a lot of relationship with brothers before, especially, and I really feel there was no limit there. I was just like not thinking, nothing was there. There was a lot of touching involved, and I really didn't realize that for many people I was a person who was flirting with so many people, with so many guys, and maybe I was unconsciously, and because as I said, I was looking for that kind of validation. But yeah, if I know that there's some sisters that if they know me now, they would never believe, because the relationship with brothers is so different right now. But yes, I think there was one workshop, and I decided that I will never hug brothers, because I decided that was something that I wanted my husband to have. And I don't know, becoming extremely strict with myself with physical touch really helped. And I want to give an example because I was thinking of one of my friends, and is extremely close to me, extremely dear to me, and I never had like feelings for them. But we were spending a lot of solo time together actually, and I was thinking, why did I feel so safe? Why did I feel so safe with him? And one thing for sure was like I decided to have no physical contact with this person at all, even if it was necessary, because he has something. I always would ask another brother, oh, do you see, like, he has this thing on his shoulder, can you take it up? And by the fact that I was being loud at this, I could really see that for him there was really clear line. And the same was for him, right? And I think because I was being so strict, he also was being so strict with me. And he never touched me. He never, even, if it was by mistake, we just like bump to each other's shoulder, he would be like, oh, I'm sorry. And I also be, oh, it's okay. And he never made like flirty comments ever at all, like not even one. And I was so appreciative of this kind of relationship that felt so pure. And guys, I really don't think that having a lot of limits is gonna distance yourself, because we had that many limits and we were very clear about it. We were able to have this amazing brother and sister relationship. I mean, I don't know exactly how I was in his brain. I hope it's like reciprocated, but at least I can say on my side it was absolutely completely pure, right? And I don't know, just being very clear with limits. And I hope I'm not doing the wrong thing here, but one thing that would help me, I would always think this: would this benefit my relationship or not, right? And if it was a yes, then I would do it. If I was like, it wouldn't change anything, I wouldn't do it, because just by the fact that I was asking, that means that is a little bit on a gray zone. Like, I give an example. I don't know, if I was, for example, okay, it's not really related, but it is related. So for example, I was on a holiday with friends and it was mixed gender, and it happened that one of the night everyone wanted to sleep together. And of course, they're my friends, nothing bad can happen. What would be wrong about it? But then I was thinking, what would be the benefit for me to share this room with sisters and with girls and guys? I saw no benefit. And I felt very confident, say, okay, I don't feel the need for this. It can create some, it's could have been as pure as possible. But the fact that I was being very, very clear with my limits, it really gave me this pure heart to be completely free with them. The morning after, nothing happened with the night. They're just like, but the morning after, I was so happy and free and felt so clean with myself. We had breakfast. It was amazing. So yes, just don't be afraid to have really hard limits, and just, keep it too simple. I want to talk with this person. Let's talk. And that's it. I'm not going to make flirty jokes. I'm not going to touch them. I'm not even, going to appreciate them too much. We're just talking, having a fun time. And it's amazing. I'm connecting. And yeah, that's how it was for me, at least. So, yeah.
Yeah, those are really good guidelines. And actually, that kind of goes into another question that just came in just now, which is how do you treat someone you've had a crush on? You're over it, but obviously you can't treat them the way you used to, because deep down, you only did it because you liked them. That's, I mean, I can relate 100%.
That's a good question, man.
And I'm going to keep my answer super short. It's basically on the same wavelength as what Nausika was saying. Space is not a bad thing. Like, giving space to that person is probably the best thing you can do, because it's actually respectful. It's really respectful to give that person space. And again, I liked what you're saying, Nausika, thinking about the question, does this benefit me or that person? Do I have to go and hug this person? And hey, I'm not saying, I hug my sisters, the ones that I feel comfortable around and they feel comfortable around me. I'll hug them because I'm that kind of guy. I like giving hugs, I like receiving hugs. But especially if it's a person that you feel unsafe around, not unsafe in terms of them being scary, but more you don't feel safe with yourself, like how you're going to act, just give them space. Like, there's plenty of people that can if they're a sister, there's plenty of sisters that can love that sister. You don't have to show that person. In fact, I'm going to say this. You can quote me on this. It's loving to give them space. It's loving to give them the respect that they deserve by not burdening them with your chaotic emotions towards them, right? So I'm just going to say that space is fine.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna stress over this. I think if you had a crush for someone, the best thing you want to do is just for a period get distant as much as you can, if you can, of course. For a while, just give you a few, like a month or 2 months, and you will feel like, oh, I'm really close friends with this person, I'm gonna lose it. I promise you, my experience is you're not gonna lose this friendship. Actually, it's gonna get better, because the more you're gonna see this person, the less, the more your feelings are still gonna be there. You're just gonna drag them, even if you really don't want to. But as David say, just give space to the person, but also give space for yourself, because you need time to get over it, right? Like, and I don't think that seeing this person every day is gonna help. Actually, it's gonna be very healthy to just take a little bit of time away from this person, and then that will give you the freedom to get closer than you were before, because don't have any feelings attached to it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. This conversation has actually been fire, honestly. Nausika, whenever I talk to you, it's just, it's great. You have a lot of wisdom to give, and it's always fun to chat. I originally planned this live stream to be 1 hour. It's nearly an hour.
Oh my god!
But I think it's fine. I think it's fine. People here, I hope that you're not too upset that it's been a long live stream. I'm sure you've all enjoyed it. But I do want to wrap up. And if you wanted to see more of these, and if you want to see more of Nausika and more of Marko and more of Robert, we can do this again. We can do this again and talk about different topics. If you want to suggest, reach out to me. And you can reach out to me on Messenger, on WhatsApp, by email. For those who have my contacts, maybe I'll post it in the description of this YouTube live stream as well. Contact me, suggest what you want me to talk about.
Or comment this video,
Comment on this video, 100%. Give it some likes, give it some love. So yeah, Nausika, I just want to ask you, is there any last thing you want to say before we wrap this up?
Honestly, I don't have much to say. I feel like if you have a crush, don't stress over it. Like, as you can see, it's so normal. All of us have. And I really hope you could take something from this and just feel you're not alone, right? Like, and it's not the end of the world. It's not. So don't worry. Bigger problems are coming. Talking from personal experience.
100%. Yeah. No, take it from someone who's engaged as well. Take it from someone who's engaged. She has something to say. Yeah.
No, I'm joking. It's beautiful. It's like it's worthy. If I can say something, it's worthy. I don't regret anything. Actually, I'm so grateful. So yeah, and I'm also grateful for his path and Anju's path. It's just it made everything so much beautiful for me as well. So yeah, keep it up, guys, because the price is worthy. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone in the chat, I love you guys. You're my brothers, you're my sisters. And look, this is what we're here at High Noon to do, is to help you on this journey. I'm still learning on this journey myself, but there's so many wise people that have guided me on this path. And if I can share just a short, small piece of the advice that they've given me and pass it on to you. And I'd love to invite more guests here as well to share with you, because you guys deserve it. You guys deserve to have the best blessings. This is why we're doing this. This is what gets me up in the morning, apart from my lovely mocha coffee. This is what gets me up. Is I really want all of you to experience amazing blessings. I can't wait for my own future blessing. Nausika is almost there. It's incredible to see. So guys, we want to help you. I really want to help you.
Yeah, let's do this together, guys. That's what it means to be a community. I'm excited.
100%. So thank you for joining this live stream. Nausika, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you for bearing with me with this yupper Italian. So
she is unbearable, so unbearable that I'm getting rid of her right now. There we go. Haha, she's gone. Okay, freedom. Anyway, this was fun. This was really, really fun. and let's do it again. I'll definitely do it again if you guys love it. So love you guys. All the best. Take care. Bye.